Finally, I'm making the video. Hey guys, this is me Shreyas and I love plants. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about a very popular topic, that is moss terrarium. So it's all pandemic and we are all locked down at our houses, and I've been seeing people online talking about DIY moss terrariums, but I've gone through all of those videos and believe me, all of them require some amount of money to be spent out of your pocket. And I simply don't rely on spending money out of my pocket because I cannot go over budget. I am very restricted. I made my moss terrarium with scratch, and today exactly that is what I'm going to be talking about. So let's get started. So firstly, we start off by taking a clean, dry glass jar. Usually I use a pickle jar, so I have used a pickle jar indeed, and I begin by cleaning it until it has no odor and it is dry. So after we have a glass jar that is clean, we add in gravel. Gravel can be anything from using a aquarium sand or river sand, or you can also use small pebbles. In my case, I have preferred using pebbles because pebbles are easier when it comes to handling, and also they also help in the evaporation process of water that happens inside the terrarium, on which I'll get on later. After adding the pebbles, I add a mesh. So for mesh, I have kept it simple because I did not have a polycarbonate mesh. You can use a polycarbonate mesh as well, but I didn't have the polycarbonate mesh, so I simply used a tissue paper and I cut it out at the diameter of the jar, and then I placed the tissue paper. Next, we move on to add our layer of charcoal. I've used a wood charcoal. You can also use your normal coal. So what does a charcoal do exactly? A charcoal will ensure that there is no bad odor in your terrarium, because a terrarium, a closed terrarium, is a breeding ground for many bacteria, and you need to be very keen when it comes to bacterial growth inside your terrariums. Many fancy terrariums really don't use charcoal, but I have had experiences with it, and I really do not recommend that you ignore this fact. So I use charcoal to keep the bacterial colonies in check, and indeed it also helps me to maintain the odor. And next, I add my substrate. So for substrate, I've used a mixture of humus and bark. If you don't find humus near your locality, you can simply use 1 part of your normal coco peat and add some bark and dry leaves into it. So after adding the substrate, we move on to our next step, that is adding landscape. Making a landscape is very easy. I've collected small pebbles and some driftwood around my house, which I believe you can also do the same. Then we move on to a very important step. The very crucial step is finding the correct amount of moss for your terrarium. So you can find moss very easily since it is monsoon season here in India. You can find moss everywhere where there is dampness. I use a pair of forceps to carefully insert my piece of moss inside my terrarium. And after you've placed your moss carefully inside the terrarium, you can simply finish off with spraying water inside your terrarium. You should not pour your water directly inside the terrarium. Always use a spray bottle or a foliar spray to pump water inside your terrarium. You should only be able to see the condensation in the morning and the evening hours, and it's a beautiful view on its own, and I hope that you can recreate this at your houses. And finally, my terrarium is ready. I've spent no money in making this terrarium, and this is a small terrarium, but still it's under budget. And after you've done everything, please make sure to place a tight cap above it and place it in a bright spot away from direct sunlight. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like, share and subscribe to my channel and help me grow, and also make sure to leave your comments and suggestions down below in the comment section, and also make sure to follow me on Instagram where I'm more active, and I'll be able to answer your questions more frequently. And what else?
Cut the cameras. Dead ass.